Hello and welcome back to another episode of Respawn Radio with your host Paul
and Raphi.
And we just got finished watching a fantastic movie.
I've never seen this.
You've never seen Mystery Men before?
I've never seen Mystery Men before. I've heard of it. My old housemate talking about it a lot, and it sounded really funny.
Yeah.
I just never watched it.
See, I watched it years ago. It came out in 99. At what point
99.
I was in 1999. I was about 7, 6 or 7. So I didn't see it until early 2000s. There's some weird shit that happens in this movie. Like it's a kid. Would you say it's a kid movie?
Not a kid.
I mean, there's a horrendous death in it without jumping straight into spoilers.
It doesn't have any swearing or blood or anything like that. So probably like a 12A.
You know what I like about this movie is that it's fucking ridiculous and it knows it.
It's if anyone's ever seen Batman and Robin or any of the Joel Schumacher films, it's like that. It takes a piss out of that. It's got the same sort of style and art style and setting and even the same camera work.
Yeah, it's set in a Neo-Gotham sort of Blade Runner-esque future sort of thing.
And it's basically about superheroes, but they're not superheroes. None of them have any, apart from one person, none of them have any powers.
Shit superheroes, kick-ass superheroes, wannabe.
Well, it's did you ever watch One Punch Man?
Oh yeah,
none of them actually have superpowers. Apart from one.
What's his name? Mooman Rider. He's on a bicycle.
Yeah, exactly. Or the guy that walks around with a baseball bat. None of them have powers. It's kind of like that. So
it's Tank Top Tiger.
Yeah. Ridiculous shit like that.
I actually we'll get to it at later on, but there is I think they beat Deadpool 2 to it. You know, the lineup when they're recruiting new superheroes?
Oh, yeah.
I think Deadpool 2 nicked that idea from Mystery Men.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that later.
So
you go right ahead.
Well, all right, okay. So we got brilliant Ben Stiller as, the main character who...
Playing Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller plays as a character called Mr. Furious.
Ben Stiller. He's playing himself. Basically, he's got the power of getting really angry.
Does he? He just gets really angry.
He just gets really angry, throws a tantrum, doesn't do anything.
He's on top of a car, just slapping his hands out like a toddler, not getting his way.
And then he's trying to break stuff. He can't do anything.
It's brilliant.
It's crazy. It's brilliant. And then who else have we got? You got
the shoveler.
Yeah, who basically just has a shovel. He's played by
William H. Macy.
That's the one.
Yeah. He's in Jurassic Park 3. He plays as a guy called Paul in it, and he's the father. And that's the first film I ever saw him in. So every time I see him, I compare him to him in Jurassic Park.
I saw him in Fargo.
Fargo?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Oh, it's a fantastic film. Anyway, digress.
And the third one out of the trio is played by Hank Azaria, who plays as a character called the Blue Raja, who is an American playing as an English Muslim convert who throws forks at people.
It's brilliant.
Obviously, I think the joke is the sort of Eastern mysticism is all about bending spoons.
Yeah.
So he's fuck it, just forks.
Yeah.
But he doesn't limit himself to forks. He does all silverware except from knives.
Yeah, the most deadly of the silverware.
He's I'm not stabby, man.
It's brilliant. So it's basically them three, and they're kind of a little trio of, I'm going to say this in quotation marks, superheroes.
Yeah.
And the film starts off kind of weird. It starts off in an old folks home.
Yeah, it's an old folk antique show.
But like a sex party almost.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
It sets the tone for the setting.
It starts off exactly like Batman and Robin.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been so long since I watched that one.
So in that film, it starts off at a party, like a ball, and then the villains come in, and they're called the Red Eyes.
Yeah.
And all they do is just wear red goggles.
Yeah, that's it.
And they just wreck shit up.
The main guy, is he the fat one from Jurassic Park? The one who lets all the dinosaurs loose. It looked like him.
He did, but he was wearing a mask. I
couldn't tell.
I was trying to work out who he was.
Oh, wait.
Are you going to fact check?
Big Red. Artie Lange. No, it's not the same guy. No, that's a shame. But it looked just like him.
So they rob the place, and then the three are heroes of the story.
They jump in and
They jump in, try and stop it, but they're not very successful. Mr. Angry, or whatever you want to call him.
Mr. Furious.
Mr. Furious doesn't do anything. He throws a tantrum, gets beaten up himself. Spoons and forks get thrown all over the place. And
why don't you shovel it in?
Again, another superhero shows up, like Mr. Awesome.
Captain Amazing.
Captain Amazing, that's it.
Played by Greg Kinnear.
Yeah, he's in more things than you realise.
But he's such a cock in this.
He's a cock in most things, though. He was in Friends. He was in, like, he played like a character in Friends. I think he played, like, Rachel's boss or something like that.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
He was an arse in that.
I think he likes playing the arsehole characters the most.
So he plays... I do it so well. He plays like a Superman character.
Yeah.
So he's got a
secret billionaire identity. So it's a cross between Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent.
Yeah, but so he doesn't wear a mask. His alter ego does. He wears glasses. They do a brilliant segment a little bit later on where they're
in the restaurant.
Yeah, and Ben Stiller's character's like
they're the same person.
It's like they can't be the same person. He wears glasses. If he didn't wear glasses, he wouldn't be able to see. Explain that one. And it's just like, it's obviously taking the piss out of Superman. He just wears glasses and no one can figure it out.
This was I don't know who it was written by, but this was directed by a guy that I've never heard of, who's done no other films. I know some French director who's done no other films that I've heard. But it's such a good film. It was weird. There was loads of weird shots in it. Like
it's shot weird. A lot of it is close-up shots, like at an angle.
And a lot of point of view shots, like Peep Show.
Yeah, it does that as well. There's no... It's not a cinematic film. It's not like
it feels like an indie film with a Hollywood budget.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So basically, Captain Amazing is just this giant walking advertisement. He's a sellout shill for big conglomerates.
Basically, his entire costume has got like Pepsi on it.
Yeah, he looks like he's wearing a motorcycle outfit.
Yeah,
and he's just like he's literally got advertisements on his superhero costume.
Yeah. So he concocts like an idea because he's a superhero and he's done such a good job of it that there's no one really left to save the day.
But here's the thing that they sort of hinted at. Was he actually a superhero, or was he always crooked? Basically, he's beaten all the superheroes. There's no one left to beat. The whole antagonist of it is let loose by the alter ego. Captain Amazing's Clark Kent version of himself. Anyway, he certifies that the bad guy Casanova Frankenstein, played by the guy who plays as Captain Barbossa,
Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah, he lets him go, certifying that he's been cured in his mental asylum. Clearly hasn't, just so that he can give himself another villain to get back in the public eye, maybe get some more advertising.
I think he genuinely was protecting the city and doing a really good job, but I just think he was like, in his head he was like, right, stop all crime, hang up my advertising costume. But in reality, it was like he stopped all crime, and then it was a case of, I want to carry on, like I want to keep going. Which is weird because it was like he was making all of his money off the advertisements, when in reality his alter ego...
I think that's the point. The point was there was no reason to sponsor him since crime's gone.
Yeah, but his alter ego is meant to be like a billionaire.
Maybe it's just the ego, because he is a bit of an arrogant cock.
I reckon he just didn't want to stop it.
Yeah.
So he got his nemesis, his ultimate arch nemesis.
Well, did they even state it's his nemesis, or is it just a generic?
No. They said he was like when they were talking to his agent, he was like, yeah, he was my arch nemesis.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that then.
Obviously it's not an Arkham Asylum, but it's Arkham Asylum. And he gets let out, basically. Yeah, they're doing this whole thing where it's like, well, obviously you're still evil, but then not Clark Kent shows up. There's going to be a lot of not Clark Kent shows up, and he's like, I've got this letter from Captain Amazing.
Yeah, and it's a shopping list.
It's a shopping list. It had like eggs, bacon, whatever. But he's just reading out like, I hereby say that everyone deserves a second chance. Like,
yeah.
He's just like spouting random nonsense, and they all just go along with it because.
And then he gets caught immediately. Like he goes to stop him and gets kidnapped immediately. Like, how did he?
Yeah, no, that was such a weird plan. So he was like, right, okay, I'm going to get him out, and I'm going to have this like epic fight, and I'm going to get all the good sponsorships back. Mm-hmm. So he lets him out. Blows up the asylum on like within the first minute of him escaping.
Casanova Frankenstein does, yeah.
So then Captain Awesome or Amazing flies through the window on a jetpack. And then they do this bit of banter. Is like, can you deactivate your lasers and deactivate your poison?
Oh yeah, I know all your old tricks. Turn off your weapons.
And they do that with each other for a bit. And then he just picks up like some sort of weird device and just sprays himself.
Yeah, the device that he assumes was the thing that blew up the asylum.
And it turns like chloroform in there. So then he instantly gets captured by Frankenstein.
That was it. That's all it took.
And that's his plot in it.
Anyway, he gets kidnapped. He doesn't come back into it for a little while. Meanwhile, it sort of goes back to
heroes of the story.
Yeah, the lives of the heroes. So Mr. Furious in his daytime works in a junkyard, and there's this. Well, he's trying to he's been told that he needs to take apart this armoured tank.
Like he can't do. He doesn't have the right tools for it. He's only been given like a crowbar. It's meant to stand up against like bombs and shit.
And he's trying to calmly explain to this fucking bitch of a woman who works in a bit. She's just like, just take it apart. And he's just like, trying to tell you, I can't do it with just this crowbar. She's like, take it apart. And he just grabs the stress ball.
He's like furiously squeezing the stress ball. And then like he calms himself just for a second and just goes to her.
This thing saved your life.
She's laughed at him. He's the most cartoonish character in this entire thing.
I fucking love Ben Stiller.
I love Ben Stiller. He's good in everything.
Okay. The Shoveler.
Yep.
And his home life. So he's got a black wife and 3 very black kids, and he's a white man. And they make a point to pan in on the family photo as he comes to the door.
Yeah, it's just him, very white. Everyone else really, really.
I mean, the joke isn't he's a stepfather. He's the father. He's the father.
Yeah, no. They are his kids. They make absolutely no reference that they were never not his kids.
Yeah. So I don't understand what is the joke. Just he's white and they're not. Is that it?
I don't know. It was made in the 90s.
Yeah.
But
I still think it's funny because it's so on the nose. It's just like the fact that it's not like that he's in a failing relationship.
No, it's just that he's the odd one out.
Yeah, she pities him because he's a pathetic wannabe superhero. But it's not like they're seriously going to get a divorce or anything, or they're really unhappy.
No, it's just she's pissed off that he's always like going out and like trying to save the day when he... She's like, you are the best shoveler I have ever met, but it's not a superpower. And it's like, you don't say. So that's kind of like his life. And then the third one, who's
the Blue Raja.
Yeah, the Blue Raja. He lives at home with his mum.
Yeah.
And he's actually, there's like a thing where he's like in the mirror and he's like, I've got you now, you red eyes. And he's like training in front of the mirror, like throwing spoons everywhere. And then his mother walks in the door and he's just like, Mom,
yeah, don't come in,
leave me alone. She's like, are you smoking the marijuana? Because he's got incense like everywhere.
Yeah, fucking loads of it.
And like he's a very American, like stereotypical living with your mum type thing.
Is this the guy? It's funny that he plays as like a Middle Eastern. Is he the guy who does the voice of Apu from The Simpsons?
Yeah, and Mo and pretty much everyone that isn't Homer.
Oh, right, yeah.
So yeah, those are them 3. And Ben Stiller's character, Mr. Furious.
Well, yeah, he hears on the news that Captain Amazing
has disappeared
at the same time as this billionaire. Oh, no, it's the billionaire went missing first, and they've tried getting Captain Amazing to save him, and they're not hearing from him.
Yeah, so they both gone missing, and so...
So he's in the junkyard at the time, and he hears it on the radio, and he's like, well, fuck it, I'm going to go investigate.
Very early on, they come across 2 disco guys played by Eddie Izzard and some other guy who I have no idea who
they set that up, yeah, and they're like Casanova, Frankenstein's
henchmen essentially
for the rest of the film.
So from there he apparently he apparently knows where he lives. So
well, I think he follows the Disco Boys.
Maybe yeah, he does because he gets on his motorbike.
Yeah.
So he gets on his motorbike. Ben Stiller follows them. And he comes across to their mansion and he sees Frankenstein sort of dropping and kind of works out what's going on. And he says to his partners in crime, like, look, this is what's going on. He's been kidnapped. We need to save the day. We need to save him. He doesn't like him in the slightest. Like, I don't think any of those... The other 2 like Captain Awesome or Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him Captain A.
Well, they look up to him because he's a celebrity.
Yeah, he's a celebrity. He's like a true superhero, again, quotation marks. Mm-hmm. They basically get up with a plan that they need to go and save Captain A.
So they go to recruit some other heroes.
Yeah, so the first guy... So they're talking in like a cafe and one of them goes, I know about this one guy. He's really mysterious. Like, I hear he can like cut guns in half. And so they're talking about him and they were like, okay, we can look into that, but like we have no idea how to find him. Like, he's too mysterious. And so they hear about another guy.
The Invisible Boy.
Yeah, so they go and meet him. And he's explaining his powers and he's like, so what can you do? And he's like, I can turn invisible. He's like, but you can't show us. No.
Yeah, and if I catch a glimpse of myself in a mirror, then I become uninvisible.
He's like, I can only be invisible if no one else is watching. And they go, well, how do you know you're invisible? He goes, because I can feel it. And they were all like, all right. So as long as no one else, including himself, is looking at him, he's effectively invisible. which like everyone who has watched this film, even the characters, must know. That's bullshit. But
I love it. I was sitting there thinking, he hasn't got any powers. He's gonna die.
He's just like, he doesn't have any powers, bless him. But they know that, so that they don't want to hire him. He's like, no, but I go to like these superhero conventions, and I go to like, armored shops and all that. So I've got connections. I know more superheroes, and they were like,
did you recognise who the actor was?
Yeah, it's Kel from Keenan and Kel.
Yeah. Good burger.
Yeah.
As well, yeah. Why did he have blonde hair? He looks like...
I don't know.
He looked like the guy from Demolition Man.
Yeah, he did. Or the Fifth Element. The black guy in that with blonde hair.
Oh, Chris Tucker.
Yeah. That's the one.
Ruby Rod.
That's the one,
Is that it?
Yeah, with his weird hair. Anyway, so he says, I've got all these connections. So, like, if you bring me along, like, you'll have access to, like, hundreds of superheroes. So they were like, all right.
Well, they're discussing it in a cafe, and then this other one comes along, played by the fellow who plays as Pee Wee Herman.
Yep.
The spleen.
Yep.
And his power is... He's the only one with a real power, isn't he?
He's got a real power, and he's got a backstory.
Yes.
So he's talking about it, and he goes, well, what can you do? And this guy is, like, spotty as hell. And
he sounds ugly, like Sid the Sloth.
And he's, like, talks like this.
He's got a lisp.
He's saying, it was one day, I was walking outside, and I let one rip, and I farted on a gypsy.
No, he farted and he blamed it on a gypsy.
Yeah, he blamed it on the gypsy, so then the gypsy
cursed him.
Yeah, this is like, forevermore, you will have always doubted.
Yeah.
So his ability is to just fart, but with pinpoint deadly accuracy.
Yeah, like bullets.
Yeah, so he demonstrates, and he's like, pull my finger. He pulls his finger and he just farts on people, like, across the room, and they just get knocked unconscious by, presumably, the smell. That's his power. No one really likes him apart from the Invisible Boy. Because everyone else is just like, he's just disgusting and smelly and all that crap. And apparently he just constantly smells anyway.
Yeah, so Invisible Boy and Spleen hang around with the three for a while they agree to get the recruitment show going. They do it in the backyard at Shoveler's house.
Much to his annoyance.
And the wife is not happy about that. This is where...
This is the Deadpool bit.
The Deadpool bit, yeah. So you get like people like the Waffler. And he's fucking hell, he's just got waffles, like waffle makers hanging from his neck, and he's like, here's my truth syrup, and he's
it's brilliant. And then there's another guy, and he's got like a cleaning apparatus on window, and he's like, can you feel the magic? Anyway,
and then, wait, you've forgotten the best one.
Go on.
The PMS Avenger. He's like, I only work 4 days a month or something.
Is that going to be a problem? No.
Nope.
No. Brilliant. Anyway, they don't.
Oh, fucking hell.
They don't find anyone. So they kind of like, they call it a day, and then once everyone's left, somebody else sort of like turns up a little bit late, and she's like, you still doing it? And Ben Stiller's like, nah, fuck off. Essentially. And she goes, all right then. I might as well just show you this anyway. She pulls out a bowling ball that's got a skull in the middle of it.
Yeah, how it got there.
She explains it. It's her dad's skull.
Yeah.
Which she didn't put in there. She got somebody else to do it at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Because apparently...
But it's like a transparent bowling ball with her dad's skull in it, but it like talks to her telepathically.
Yeah, and she talks back at it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she can like, does it fly on its own?
Yeah,
it flies.
There is some element of superpowers there because it actually does float at like some points.
It floats and like suspended in midair, and then it'll go towards places and then like bounce off other things and then fly back towards.
You know what it's like? It's like a bludger from Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's like. That's a very good analogy.
Because it's almost sentient.
Mm.
Yeah, so they recruit the bowler, and it's like Mr. Furious. I don't know. I think Mr. Furious is just butthurt after he starts losing like overall control of the group.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to initially accept this woman who actually has powers in.
He doesn't want to accept anyone.
No,
since Invisible Boy.
He just wants the 3 people, but it's weird because they wanted to recruit more people.
Yeah, but he's not satisfied with anyone.
No, I guess not. Anyway, they all get together and they go and actually try and take out
Casanova Frankenstein. Yeah,
with his men.
So they capture it. He's in a limousine with a bunch of.
It's a good scene as well. They're in a limousine. They follow him in a limousine. Like they just happen upon him, and they pull up and make him stop.
They're questioning him. Where is Captain Amazing?
Where's Captain Amazing? You're going to tell us where he is, and obviously he doesn't play along. So I think he just chucks a load of forks all into the car to stop them getting out, and then Mr. Flatulent, I'm going to call him. I don't know any of the names.
Spleen.
Yeah, the Spleen. like farts in the car, and then they force the windows closed.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller just he allows himself to get really angry and just screams and thrashes about and just jumps on the car and just starts thrashing around. Doesn't do any damage or anything.
Or the Blue Raja gets his fork and starts scraping it against the side of the car.
And then obviously the Mr. Shovel just starts like whacking the car with his shovel. Like
he's the only one that does any real damage to the car.
He's the only one that does anything to the car. Ben Stiller does nothing. He tries to pull off the car emblem. He can't do it.
Trying to get his nails.
Yeah, but he can't do it. He's like when a baby throws a tantrum. He doesn't actually do any damage. He's just angry.
Yeah.
So he's just slapping himself and slapping the car. He doesn't do anything.
Oh.
And then they all leave.
They see that as a victory. They drive away. They have some drinks. They get drunk. They celebrate, and it's like that's a victory to them. What did they accomplish?
They destroyed a car. But they didn't find out where Captain Amazing was.
They learned nothing.
They learned nothing. They just destroyed a car. Well, they thought they won. So they went to a bar and they all started getting drunk together and like having a really good time. And then they leave the bar and then the disco guys like show up with guns. Mm-hmm. And
this is where the thing from earlier comes back.
Yeah, so they're all like, right, we're going to kill you now.
They're actually about to get killed.
Yeah, they are literally about to get killed, and all of a sudden, all their guns are like cut in half.
Yeah, he
like,
goes, he can cut guns in half with his mind, is what they said earlier.
And they all run off because obviously they can't, even though they can beat the shit out of them, like they just fuck off anyway. And they're like, right, we'll kill you next time then. What's it called? The Sphinx shows up.
Yeah.
And he's like...
And he looks like Big Daddy from Kick-Ass.
He does, yeah.
He's played by Wes Studi. You ever heard of him?
No idea who that is.
I recognise his face, so his face looked familiar in the costume. He looks like... do you know Breaking Bad?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he plays a lot of Spanish gangsters and he gets his head cut off and put on top of a tortoise.
Oh.
I thought it was him at first.
He was in Machete.
He's been in Brooklyn Nine-Nine as Diaz's dad. But he has that sort of Latino, sort of old man, leathery sort of face.
That's why I thought he were Native American.
He probably is.
Anyway, so he happens upon them, and then he invites them back to his
lair,
shall we say?
Anyway, it takes them into... Well, I don't think he's in there in a lair. They're outside by like... I don't know, it's like a tent or something.
No, they go inside somewhere, and he's like... And he only speaks in like mysterious ways, like he says, like, to go forward you must take one step back, or shit like that. If you
don't master your anger will master you.
Shit like that.
And Mr. Furious calls him out on that bullshit straight away. It's like, you were going to say that, weren't you? He goes, not necessarily.
So he invites them all back, and he's kind of like, you're all foolish. You celebrated when you shouldn't have, and you shouldn't have been drinking, and all that crap. And then he invites them all to sort of train with him. Yeah,
there's like a montage of training. And that's... In the montage of training, they play All Star by Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Now, this film beat Shrek. It beat Rat Race.
Yep.
Was this the original film that played Smash Mouth in it?
Maybe.
Because it had it for the credits music. And it had it during the montage for about 10 seconds. It
depends if Digimon did it before it. Because Digimon the film
really
had Smash Mouth, yeah.
You fucking serious?
Yeah. There's a training montage where they're all training on the computer and just typing really, really quickly.
Oh my god.
And there's like a plane and they're like, they need to beat this thing and it's playing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're all doing this training and he teaches literally one of them how to be better. Nobody else gets any better.
What, like the Blue Raja?
Yeah, when he's just like, instead of throwing randomly, conceal yourself and use accuracy.
Yeah, to hide your moves.
Yeah, and he's the only one that actually comes out any better. All the others don't.
Yeah, they're all exactly the same.
Yeah.
So Mr. Furious, he leaves. He gets all stressed out that this guy's taking over the group and they're all making their own costumes.
Well, what it is he's like, well, just wasting time. We need to go and save Captain Amazing.
I don't need a compass to tell me which way the wind shines.
Yeah, just kind of random shit like that. And then he storms off after saying that, and I'm like... Hang on a second.
We were sitting there thinking, something about that don't seem right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he fucks off and then they go to a weapons guy.
Yeah, so...
He was in it right at the beginning of the film, after they saved all the old ladies.
Yeah, this guy comes in and he's like, I'm a weapons dealer. I deal in weapons. And he hands him his card and it says, like, genius weapons dealer on it.
Yeah, but he goes, remember to say my name. And he gets him to, like, say his name really loudly, like... they're saying to the audience, remember this name, say my name with me.
Say it with me. And he does, and he's like, correct. And then he gives him the card, and then it shows the card for about 5 seconds. He just lingers on the card with his name on it.
It looked really weird, that shot, didn't it? It looked like...
It felt like it was a shot that was done after filming.
Yeah, well,
was.
It felt like someone with a camera over someone's shoulder, like in a high school film or something. And then there were some parts in this film where the sound went really funny. There was a bit... They were sitting... It
was whether they were outside. What I reckon they had was it didn't record over the... Because a lot of it had, like, they would re-recorded their lines.
It sounded like it was either re-recorded or they, like, upped the audio because, like, it didn't record properly. Like, it sounded like...
it was mainly when they were outside.
Yeah, well, it was the scene after they just first recruit the bowler and they're sitting down at the table and they have that conversation. And then there's a little bit later on while they're in the bad guy's hideout right at the very end of the film. And it's with the bowler again. Maybe it's just fucking her. Maybe her microphone or something.
Maybe. I mean, it could have just been our version of the film we had.
Who knows? Maybe.
Anyway.
At this, they get to the weapons manufacturer, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the biggest manufacturer of non-lethal weapons there is." And they're like, "For fuck's sake,
you're useless. Fuck off." It's like, what are we doing here? Came all the way for nothing. Non-lethal.
He throws a
can.
A canned tornado
at Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, which is the coolest fucking weapon.
But they never use it.
No, they actually don't, do they?
So he basically, to like prove that these weapons are actually quite handy, he throws a can. He unleashes a can. It looks like a grenade.
But it goes on for ages.
It goes on for ages. It picks them up and then it dumps them somewhere else, and he's completely incapacitated.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh wow, these weapons are fucking awesome.
So he gets like the blame thrower.
Yeah, which
and
it causes people to just have arguments with each other like ferociously, and then there's another one that shrinks.
A shrink ray that like shrinks your clothes to the point that you can't.
Made out of washing machine technology.
Yeah.
Just shit like that. But they never use this. They use everything but the actual tornado. Which
maybe they did. Maybe we just missed it.
I didn't think so.
But it certainly wasn't memorable if they did use it again.
So they get all these weapons together and they go to infiltrate. And what's his name comes back in? Ben Stiller.
Mr. Furious.
Mr. Furious. No, Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller comes back in.
Well, he's convinced to come back by this waitress he fancies.
Yeah, when he's at the restaurant, they always go to the same sort of restaurant.
She's been in it before, but she's like she's kind of like a cold bitch. Yeah. And it's like he's trying to flirt, but like she doesn't like his fake superhero personality. And the moment he like shows he's vulnerable,
she falls for him and shit.
Yeah.
So he comes back and he's like, okay. So he talks to the Shovel Man. Shovel Knight, I'm going to call him.
Shovel Knight.
He talks to Shovel Knight.
I love this conversation because it's like two children trying to make up in a playground.
Yeah, it is as well. It's like, you're right.
Yeah.
Been up to much? Not much.
I forgot my address book.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
It's black. It's got a picture on it. And then he goes like, I'm getting angry here now. I'm getting really angry. And he's like, feel the rage boiling. And then Shovel Knight just goes to him, what, do you want to just join us? And he goes,
thank you. Anger subsiding.
So he joins the team.
After they apologise and make up, they go to Casanova Frankenstein's hideout. And they... I forget how they get in. But anyway, they find...
No, they just... Ben Stiller goes, find an open window.
That's it, yeah. So they sneak in through the window and it's all dark. And he's like, where the light switch? And he's just like, just here, idiot. And he turns it on and it's Captain Amazing. He's sitting in his chair.
And he's bound to a chair. He's got like cuffed in the chair.
Yeah, it's like some James Bond, like death trap
like,
style.
You expect me to talk?
Yeah.
And then he's like, right, turn on the machine and flick the switch.
So I didn't understand why he said turn on the death machine that might kill him.
Because I assume that's the only way to get him out.
To undo that hand clamp thing.
So so he was like...
The Blue Raja's fanboying out like no one's business.
He's like, yeah, man.
He's like, do you remember me when you saw me at the thing? He's just like, oh, I see a lot of people, but you really annoy me, so go stand over there.
But Captain Amazing's getting more and more pissed off. And then, So
the bowler and
Ben Stiller and the bowler like giving instructions like turn it on, and it's like right, flick the switch. So they flick the switch, but as they're doing that, Captain Amazing gets interrupted by Thingy asking him, "Are you him?"
Yeah.
So when he turns back, he doesn't know how many flicks they've done. So he's like, "Okay, flick it again." was like, but I've already flicked it.
Well, to be fair, he was giving shit instructions.
He was
like, twist it 7 times. It's like, what do you mean? Are you including 7, including what we've already done, or 7 more?
Like, he wasn't. So he's like, just do it. So
Blue Raja just goes over and just does it one more time.
But he does the wrong one. There's 2 switches.
Yeah.
And he switches the wrong one, which causes the machine to turn on and kill him.
Oh, fuck me.
In the most horrific, like...
What does it do? It just sort
Raiders of the Lost Ark almost turns him inside out, makes his eyes explode.
Just completely just, like, mutates him into this...
It's horrible.
It, like, cooks him as well, but it's like... Oh, God, that's nightmare fuel.
It is. It's horrible.
Did you see it? Because I looked at you as we were watching that scene, and you were like... You weren't laughing anymore. You were, like... shocked.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to happen.
You were like, your eyes were open like, what the fuck was that?
It was like the most insane thing to happen. I thought it was just going to like fry him and he's turned into a skeleton or something.
Well, as soon as his brain was fried, he would have been dead anyway. But
like his eyes were like expanding and his head were turning inside out and his teeth would like, he was weird. Anyway, so...
you know what it reminded me? It reminded me of like the Cronenberg monsters from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
It was like that sort of mutated.
It was, yeah. So they kill him. And because they're inside Frankenstein's sort of mansion, he's recruited like lots of villains from all over the place.
All over the place.
Stereotypical villains.
That's the best part.
He's got like these Chinese like women who are just very stereotypical. He's got these black guys that
are like gangsters.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure some of them are probably real life rappers.
Yeah.
And that was part of the joke. They were like...
Probably, yeah. The rhyming couplets or something like that. And like everything they say was like in a rhyme.
And then that was my favourite one, the frat boys. And they were on probation for creating dangerous...
harmful hazing or something like that. Or lethal hazing, they said.
That was it, yeah.
But so they were all just like drunkards. So they're all having like this massive meeting around a big table, like drinking and eating and all that shit. And they're all like, well, how do you expect to take over the city with Captain Amazing? And Frankenstein's like, oh, got that covered. So he leads them all into this room, not expecting Amazing to be dead, but he is. So he walks in and he sees, he doesn't see anyone, no one's there. Everyone else fucked off, like the superheroes of the day, like escaped once they killed Amazing.
They're all horrified. And he finds a fork on the floor.
He's like, this is not part of the machine.
And he knows that from the limousine scene.
Yeah.
So he
doesn't do anything with that information.
Well, he knows it's them and he's prepared for them to come, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is why... Yeah. Anyway, so they go back to fucking someone's house. Is it the Sphinx's house? They go back there.
They go to Sphinx's house and
he's just... It's funny because he's the one who's taken over his leadership and he's straight away, he goes... Yep, we're all going to quit now. And the one who steps up is Shovelman.
Yeah. And he rallies everyone together, including Ben Stiller.
Yeah. Ben Stiller, at this point, is... I think there's been another scene with the waitress woman. Anyway, he starts to lose his powers because... He
doesn't really lose his powers as much as he just realises he doesn't have powers.
He starts to doubt himself.
Yeah, he starts to doubt his lack of powers. Everyone goes apart their way to sort of... make peace with their lives because they could potentially die. They're going on a suicide mission.
Yeah.
So Shovel Knight goes to his black family, which that should emphasize that actually because they make such a big joke out of it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's subtle enough. Like
It's not subtle.
They never vocalize the joke.
No, they
purely
don't,
a visual gag.
No, but it's like a really in your face visual gag.
The Blue Raj just finally stands up to his mum.
Yeah, it doesn't so much as stand up to her as just explain what's going on.
It's almost like he came out the closet as a superhero or something.
Yeah, which is
he's like, Mother, I am blah, 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 blah. Here's my backstory. And she's just like, okay, do you want to see our great cutlery? Or do you want to see our esteemed silverware?
Yeah. It's like, I was going to give you this at our wedding. And then she looks and then she looks at him and he's wearing his superhero outfit. And she's just
Didn't you feel like there was a weird bit of tension between those two? No? Because it certainly didn't feel like motherly tension.
Yeah, it didn't feel like...
It was like awkward. It felt... Sexual tension.
It felt awkward. Yeah, it did. I picked up on that and I was thinking, she gonna kiss
him? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because they didn't even look that... do you know what I mean? The age gap didn't look that
I think that was just casting, but...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it did look like that.
I think it was just the acting, but it was...
And then Ben Stiller goes to the diner again.
That's right, yeah.
And
I think this is... So he goes to the diner.
He goes to the diner. He actually asks her about this time. He's like, can I... And he's so awkward. He's like, can I walk you home because the city is like getting dangerous because Captain Amazing isn't anywhere and, I would like to walk you home. And
she's not interested in that side of him though, but...
But she says yeah, and then she walks him home, and then I assume they go out on a date and shit. I must have missed that bit where they actually go out on a date.
I think he says, I would like to take you out on a date. On the step when he's putting her home, he goes, I'd like to take you out.
But he goes to knock on her door.
But then the henchmen are watching, and I knew it was going to be a Princess Peach sort of deal.
Yeah.
Straight away. I was
anyway,
like,
so he goes to her, and he's like, I need to go away and do this because I'm about to die. And she goes, well, what's your name? And he goes like, my name's Phoenix. What's he call himself?
It's Phoenix Dark.
Phoenix Dark. And then he goes, Phoenix.
It used to be Phoenix Steel, but they changed it.
No, it was like Phoenix Dirk, but I changed it to Phoenix Steel, and it's not Phoenix, it's Rob.
No, because now it's Roy.
Roy, and he goes, my name's Roy Dirk. And that causes him to have a breakdown because he realises who he actually is.
Yeah.
So he kind of walks off, and she gets kidnapped.
And when he's back with the team, he's just like, who's Roy? Well, Roy's the guy who... No, Mr. Furious is the guy who pretends to not be Roy. Blah, blah, blah.
And then, so they were talking about it, and he's like, I don't have any superpowers. And he's like, yeah, you do. You lifted a bus. You know how much strength that takes? And he goes, well, I didn't really lift it. I kind of pushed it. And he go, you pushed a bus? That takes incredible strength, pushing a whole bus. And he goes, well, actually, the bus driver already pressed on the accelerator. There's already a motion. And he goes, but I pushed it after that.
And he says like, oh, bugger me.
So it comes out that he doesn't actually have any powers. He's just Ben Stiller, essentially.
Well, they all get back together and they get the armoured truck he was working on in a junkyard.
Yeah, and the guy, the scientist, is like, this armoured truck, that's like the greatest non-lethal truck ever. It's like he's obsessed with non-lethal.
The weapons guy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I like about the weapons guy is when they first get back after accidentally killing Captain Amazing, is he tells him about the super weapon, and it's like they go into this fucking I can't even say it without oh god, my face is hurting from smiling so much.
Which
right
bit?
It's when he's explaining the science behind the machine, and it's like the most techno mumbo jumbo nonsense.
He's not saying anything. He's just saying random words,
and he basically implies the machine like takes people's hallucinations, manifests them, or something like that. And it's just bollocks. It's just nonsense.
He's just saying random.
And he goes, and the people who were trying to put this in practice, they boggled their mind so much they went into the insane asylum.
And he's like, the insane asylum? That's where Frankenstein's been living for like the past 15 years. Of course he knows how to make it. It's just random shite. Anyway, so they all go back to this place to meet up for the final mission. And Ben Stiller's there. He's like, where's Roy? Roy's not anyone. Roy's just he's having a mental breakdown because like say
but they're trying to get him angry.
Yeah.
So they just start saying horrible things about him, and it's just like you dress like a male prostitute, and you're abrasive and angry, and no one likes you.
Just shit like that. And he doesn't get angry. He just gets more.
Gets upset.
He just gets upset. And he's just shrugging at them like, why are you saying
He's just
these
like
things?
maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah. So they pull up to the thing and they grab all the weapons that the scientists made,
and then they just smash the armored truck straight into like the it's like an evil castle or something.
Yeah,
it's like a castle.
Bowser's or Dracula's castle. And so they just drive straight through the front door in this armored truck, not really caring about if anyone's near the door.
As the invisible boy poked his head out the top like, yeah, we smashed it, and then suddenly just started shooting at him. He's like, ah! It was like the beginning of Ali G in the house where all the gangsters are just shooting, and it's a cartoon.
Yeah, he actually is. So anyway, they're in this armored truck, and he's got like this magnet thing.
Yeah, a giant magnet cylinder at the top.
So they put this magnet on, and like all the guns just go straight to this magnet on the top of the truck. So Frankenstein's like, right, we need to get out of here. Let's go to the library or wherever it is.
He goes to the disco room.
Yeah, he goes to the disco room, and he does like the disco thing from like Saturday Night Fever. It's brilliant. So they all run to like the disco room, apart from this one guy who's kind of lagging behind because when the magnet came on, his belt got taken off, so his pants fell down. And they all get to the disco room, apart from him, and like shut the doors, and like this gem, this eye opens up on the top
like
of the door.
like a sensor, like a laser eye thing.
And anyone that gets too close, it turns them to stone, and then they basically break down. So they're all like, "Oh right, what we're gonna do? Like, if it sees us, we're gonna die." And the invisible boy, who admitted before that he doesn't actually have any superpowers, it's just like.
Well, he didn't admit, but I think he was doubting it.
No.
He was like, maybe I don't even have any powers.
No. He did admit it. He admitted it to the two. What's his name? The Sphinx was like to him, when he was like, maybe I don't have any powers. He's like, no, you need to believe in your powers. So he did, even though he knows he doesn't have any powers. So, anyway, so he just goes.
He's like, "This is my time.
Yes,
it's my time to shine. Otherwise, I won't."
So he's like, everyone just looks away from him. He's like, "Look away from him. Don't look at him. Otherwise, he won't be invisible." And like he closes his eyes and walks forward. And as he's walking forward, he turns invisible.
Yeah, all his clothes just fall on the floor. Like he's not just invisible. He's
not there.
Non-existent.
Yeah. So and then he manages to flick the switch to turn it off.
And turns it off.
Completely naked.
And everyone's awestruck by his great big black cock.
Use both hands for that, son. So like he... So they open the door, they get through, and they start shooting up the place.
As part of the montage of training, he tries teaching Shovel Man to like not just use the shovel but use his arms and his legs. And he starts having his fight with this guy, and he like out of nowhere has a trowel like just and blocks this.
But it's like a miniature version of his shovel, like coloured the exact same.
The spleen gets shot in the arse.
Yeah, but he still manages to use his powers. It's the first time he uses his powers in that entire film after the on anyone.
Well, he did it in the cafeteria in the cafe. He did it in the limousine.
Oh yeah.
I think that was about it.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's got the most. He can knock people out at point accuracy.
Yeah.
And then the bowling girl goes after Eddie Izzard, who's one of the disco guys.
He's the one that killed her dad, I think is what they point out.
Yeah, he killed her dad. Her dad's now in the bowling ball as a skull. And she's like, I'm not going to kill you. Like, I may even forgive you. My dad, however, who's apparently, I think is inhabiting the spirit of the ball.
Yeah.
The ball, on its own whim, goes straight for him, like travels through the entire mansion to get to flank him essentially, and then just smacks right into him, which causes Ezzy.
And he caves into this. What does he die? I think he does die, doesn't he?
He must die.
He's like head first, like buried. You see his arse sticking out of this wall.
Anyway, they defeat everyone apart from Frankenstein, who gets them all to stop
because
he's kidnapped Ben Stiller's girlfriend. Anyway, so he's like, this is why good guys always lose, because you've got rules. And then he just kills all of his own men. He's like, see that? I don't have rules. I killed my own men.
What was the fucking point?
No idea, just to prove that he could. It did make it a bit more threatening. Anyway, so Ben Stiller just gets really angry, starts trying to climb a wall that's like a bit
of the flattest wall ever.
Flattest wall ever. He can't climb up it, he can't stick to it or anything. And he's just getting more and more crazy. The Blue Raja.
Yeah.
He starts throwing forks into the wall.
Yeah,
pinpoint accuracy, so Ben Stiller can start climbing the wall using the forks with points of access.
Yeah, yeah.
And eventually he makes his way up. And then
he has the best fist fight.
He has the best fist fight with
Casanova Frankenstein.
Yeah, who he just loses. Like, he can't fight for shit.
He punches him in the face with both hands at the same time.
Wait, no, this is before that.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to beat him up, but he can't. He keeps on getting his ass kicked because Frankenstein's just superior in every way. And then eventually he just gets so angry that he just starts to overcome him. And then he starts doing random shit he punches him right in the face with two fists and elbows him and then just starts flapping his hand, causing his...
That was my favourite thing ever.
It was like a cartoon fight where the car...
It was Looney Tunes.
Yeah, it was Looney Tunes. If Ben Stiller was a Looney Tune character. Anyway, he beats the absolute shit out of
oh god!
Out of Frankenstein, Casanova Frankenstein.
Just say Barbosa.
Yeah, Barbosa. Barbosa. And then he died. How did he die?
Well, they say so. He has the giant death ray machine. It's changed. It's not just going into the chair anymore. It's like a giant hole in the floor. So he tosses him down it, and he just, I don't know, he just mutates on the way down.
Oh yeah, and he kills himself the same way. But the machine actually gets set off, and it goes into the city, but they don't.
Yeah, it does start to. Because I don't know if they implied that they reversed it after they stopped it, because they do stop it. You can see the town literally is starting to warp and change form.
Yeah,
the alleyway starts to warp and yeah. But so they
I assume people die anyway. So they stop it. They get the bowling ball because he's the only one that can't die because he's already dead. To go into the
she just chucks it into the machine and it goes mental and starts smashing
up all the machinery and causes it to shut down. And then it causes the entire building to blow up for some reason. It just does.
And it looks, I think I said this before, but it looks like a mini set, like a little miniature build, because it crumbles just in on itself. And the chunks that are falling out of this building are so large But any bets that it was a mini set? Usually with these podcasts, I look up like a top 10 facts list to like just to find like trivia and whatnot, just to mention points that maybe we didn't know, or I couldn't find anything about this because I guess no one gives a fuck about Mystery Men. Maybe. Even though it's actually a fucking amazing movie.
You probably haven't watched it. You should.
It's so dumb. Just don't take it seriously because the movie doesn't.
It is basically like a spoof of Batman. It's the best way I can describe it.
But so many other superheroes as well. It's like it beat Kick-Ass and Deadpool to the punch. A lot of these jokes, as far as we know, probably the first one that made...
One of the first ones, yeah.
A superhero parody, yeah.
Really glad
what even happens at the end? They kind of do...
so the building blows up, and then the news reporters come, and they're like...
And they do the Super Mario thing again, don't they? Where it's just like, well, these mystery men, on the news, and it's like, well...
That's Mystery Men.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Real question is, though, if you were going to be in a Mystery Men, with everything you have now, you can't sort of add abilities to yourself.
Okay.
But if you were going to be a superhero, like what feature would you take from yourself and just sort of roll with it?
I would be the video gamer, and I would get loads of CDs, and I'd throw them like discuses and cartridges. You know, you just load up like a cartridge shooting, memory cards or something. I don't know. What would you do?
I'd be the glutinator.
What, you like Batman because it's like your worst fear, and you like.
I'd eat a slice of bread or something and then just shit all over everyone.
Christ Almighty! Oh fucking hell!